Hey everyone, I'm Carrie and I'm finally here to share my quilting updates. I've done a couple of quilt tubes here and there over the past couple of months, but they've not really been videos where I share what I've been working on. And I've recently been working on a lot of quilting related projects, so I thought I would come on here and finally share them with you guys. Sorry, my watch. So I have Coco here with me. So she will be joining us today. I guess the first thing I want to share, let me back this up because I'm going to hold up a quilt that I just finished. And it's huge, so I don't know how I'm going to show it, but I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to bring it up close to the camera so y'all can see. So here is Flower Basket Sampler by Lori Holt. This was done using her So Simple shapes. She usually comes out with the shapes with every fabric collection, and then she usually has like a sew-along quilt project. And I follow her machine applique method with her sew-in interfacing, and I just top stitch my pieces down by machine. I don't do anything super crazy. I like to do just a straight stitch, but on the round shapes I'll do a zigzag, and that's about the extent of it. I have her matching thread sets, so I have I can change out my thread colors and match it to the fabrics. But I'm really excited to have this one finished. I am going to hang it in here behind my long arm, but this is her Peace and Plenty collection, and it's really, really pretty. And I know I shared kind of how I machine applique on one of my earlier videos on this channel, in my Quiltube playlist. So you can go and watch that if you're interested in seeing the technique. And then for my triangles in the secondary blocks, I ended up using triangle paper for that because I knew that I was going to have to trim down the pinwheels, but I really didn't want to sit and have to trim down every single triangle. So the triangle paper, I would definitely do it again. It did take a little bit of extra work, but I think it was totally worth it. And I quilted it myself on my long arm. This is the backing fabric. And so I chose to do it in a lilac thread. It's called Frosted Lilac, actually. It's by Omni, and it's a 40 weight polyester thread. And it was kind of a risk. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I didn't have the right blue, and I also didn't really want to use like a cream or an off-white. I wanted something that would add a little bit of interest, and I really love how it turned out. I really love the lilac colored thread. And I did an all-over design called Swirly Foliage by So Shabby Quilting. So I'm really looking forward to getting this on the wall. And that's about it. So I'll show y'all the binding for it, which I have already made. So I have the binding already made. I have my label tucked in there just so I remember to put it on the quilt. And it's on one of those, I can't remember what they're called, but Lori Holt makes these binding buddies or something. I can't remember what they're called, but I got a set of 3 from Fat Quarter Shop for around $20, and they're kind of cool. Just helps me feel more organized, and I'm ready to go. And then for my label, I used one of Lori's label panels. What is it called? She's got a couple of them. You can still buy them. I think this is from her Hometown collection. But I just chose a label that looked like it would kind of go with the quilt. Flowers in a pot. Wrote wrote down on the fabric with a micron pen, and I'm just gonna sew it to the back of the quilt. I used her sew-in interfacing for this as well, so you can see where I've cut and turned it right side out. But that'll be my label on the back of my quilt. And from here, I'm gonna share, I'll come back in the frame. From here, I'm gonna share, so my design wall is behind me, and I'm gonna move that quilt aside. If you're wondering what quilt that is the Prairie Meadow sew-along quilt that she did for her Prairie fabric line. That one was really pretty. I love that quilt, and I love that edge to edge design so much that it's also on this quilt behind me. So, but I'm gonna move that aside, and I'm gonna show y'all the most recent sew-along collection or sew-along project that I've been doing with her new Americana fabric line. I am very close to finishing it. I have the quilt center done. I just need to add 3 borders. And I've gotten 1 flying geese border done. So this is the Sweetland sew-along quilt. I don't know where to stand. It's really, really cute. See if I can hold the microphone here. So there are 4 applique blocks with the flags, and then there are 5-pieced star blocks. And then in the center of the pieced star blocks, there's an applique star. And then, of course, you have the cornerstones, which are yellow and white stars. But yeah, I'm excited that I have the quilt center of that done, and I'll kind of show y'all the pattern, which I threw away because I didn't think I'd need it. Okay, I'm gonna have Jake, my husband, insert a picture of what the pattern looks like. But I've gotten the right border done, which will go on this side, but kind of gives you an idea. It's a big quilt. It's like 88 inches square. All of her quilts are pretty big, but the borders are going to go around it, and there's a big blue solid border. So I've got all the flying geese sorted and organized in my little stack. This is labeled B for bottom border, but pretty much I'm ready to start putting each border together. And then that one will be on my frame getting quilted. I'm not sure what pattern I want to quilt on it. I know I like edge to edge. I don't enjoy doing custom quilting, especially on my quilts. I'm way too hard on myself, and I just like the reliability of all over quilting. So yeah, I'm not sure what I want to quilt on it yet. I was thinking maybe wavy lines, but also that's so like predictable. And I want to do something that gives great texture, but I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. So that is Americana, or it's called Sweetland Sew Along, using the Americana fabric line. And that has kind of been my June, I would say, that I've been working on that. There's not a whole lot of applique in it. It's just those 4 blocks and then the stars, but it's a lot more work than I thought it would be. I was kind of surprised. So I'm going to be glad when that one's done. I'm very glad that all the applique is done. Everything is stitched down. And just got to do some borders. So I'm going to share now. I have a few projects that I started, and this one I had just kind of started on a whim, and it is a tomato pincushion quilt. It was a kit that I bought several years ago. It's copyrighted 2020, so at least 5 years ago. But it's using Lori Holt's stitch collection. And I think I finished half the blocks, but I will show y'all what those look like. It's kind of a disaster in this box. I didn't know I left it like this. Oh, here it is. I have them all stacked. So, just cute. I've done the blues. There's the red tomatoes, yellow, green tomato, so I have it all cut out. I just haven't well, I messed up and then I was cranky, so I put it away. I just have some unpicking to do on some of the stems for the tomatoes, but I have everything cut out. I don't know when I'm going to get back to it. It's a fairly small quilt. It's only 58 by 70. And I bet there's really cute tomato quilting designs out there that I could put on this. And it would just be something that we would use in the living room. I don't think I would hang it. But I started on that. I think there's 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. There's like 32 blocks, I think. And I've done about half, so. The other thing I've been working on is, if y'all have seen Heather from My So Quilty Life, she is doing a 2025 block of the month called Year of Sewing Machines. And each month you get a themed block with a sewing machine, and at the end of the year you'll get the finishing instructions, and it's really cute. It's going to be 4 rows of 3 machines, and the machines are sitting on shelves, which is the gray fabric down here. Really cute. This is January, so the machine is sewing a mitten. This is February, and I'm using the A Bloom fabric line by Coriander Quilts from Moda. And it's really pretty. And I love that each sewing machine is different. That's not something I realized right away, but as I started making the blocks, I thought that was really kind of a neat little thing. In March, we have a shamrock. My background fabric is just an off-white from Moda. This is April. Little bluebird. May. I think it's just like a little flower block. And June, which is a strawberry. So if you're interested in getting these patterns, I think you can buy them individually if you just want to make one month. But it's all on her website, and you can get on there and look at her store. I think maybe the patterns are like $7 or something, but really cute. And if you're not a fan of whatever block, like if you didn't want to make a strawberry, she has alternate blocks that she releases every month as well. So you're not committed to making what the seasonal item is, so to speak. So that's 2025 Year of Sewing Machines. I'm also making, I decided, I think after the tomato quilt, I needed something like fun. I don't know, I was over that because I just get really bored when I have to make the same block over and over and over. I really like sampler quilts. I'm like on the y'all know what I mean. I just get bored easily with making the same thing over and over. So I've had this kit for over a year, I think. Has it been a year? maybe it's been almost a year. I don't remember when it came out. I thought it came out last year, but I did get the kit from Fat Quarter Shop, and it has been sitting very neatly in my closet for a while. And I had made the Quilted Witch, which I loved, and I really like this pattern because you cut as you go. So you don't have to, unless you really want to, you don't have to sit and cut out this entire quilt. You can cut as you make the block. So as I turn the page, I would cut, you know, whatever's next. So the first thing in the book on page 2, you're making the swirling leaf blocks, which are these up in the corner. I'll just show y'all what I have done so far. I've basically made, or will have made, all of the leaves, which are floating all in the background of the quilt. And then I think after that, I'll get to start on the scarecrow and the other motifs in the quilt, which will be exciting. So this is about where I petered out. These are the small leaves. I just have to trim and press and then add the stem. It's a lot of little pieces. So the twirling leaf blocks, and this is using her autumn collection, Lori Holt's autumn collection, and the quilt will be 80.5 by 85.5, so it's a big one. I'm gonna put it, I want to hang it on the wall outside our kitchen this fall, so it'll be a nice little like fall decoration. The piecing is really easy. Lori's instructions are really easy to follow. So there's that, and then I've got the next round of leaves. I won't show them all, but you kind of get the idea. No, maybe I can't show them all if I go fast. And then the last set of leaves were these. So all different colors using her autumn fabric. So that's as far as I got on that one. And I have been wanting to get back to it. There's just like so many other things that I want to work on. It's just hard to pick and choose. So I'm keeping these projects in. I like the art bin. Sorry. I like the art bin containers. They're a little bit more durable than the scrapbook containers you can get at Michael's. And I actually got these from officesupply.com for, I think they were less than $14, less than $15. So I know you can get them on Amazon, you can get them other places for a considerable amount more. So if you're in the market for some plastic storage bins for your projects, I think they're like 12.5 inches by 12.5 inches and then maybe 3 inches tall. But these are good. I like them a lot. And I would like to get more actually. The other project I started is the Randolph and Rudy block of the month. This is through the Quilt Spot, and they do really awesome block of the months. So the pattern is by Elizabeth Hartman, and it's adorable. Reindeers and bears. But the Quilt Spot is doing a Christmas fabric version. I guess they're both kind of Christmas. This one is the Berry and Pine fabric collection by Lella Boutique for Moda. And the quilt itself, I'm doing the large version, which is 64 by 73. It's not huge, but her quilts have a lot of piecing. And so month 1, we did Randolph. So I made 3 bear blocks. They're all the same. And they're really pretty cute. I love the pants. as soon as I saw this block of the month, I was a goner. So I hope I can keep up with it because I think it's only a 7-month program, which I think you would finish like right around Christmas. So if I keep up with it, maybe I'll have a quilt done by Christmas. And they have a lot of other block of the months too if you're interested. It's the quiltspotnj.com, Quilt Spot, New Jersey. Awesome customer service. I got my Americana quilt kit from them, and I think I had called like the Friday before the sew along. No, I had called the Thursday before the sew along was supposed to start, and I didn't have my kit, and I was like, oh no, what if they shipped it and it got lost in the mail, because I had been charged for it. And so I called, and I'm doing other block of the months through them, but I called and they picked up the phone and they just go, hello, Carrie. And I was like, I was so confused. I was like, hi. I guess they have caller ID. Like, I don't know. I was so, I don't know. I was not expecting it. But the lady on the phone, she was like, I'm holding your Happy Halloween block of the month right now. Like, so anyway, I got to talking to her and she said, oh yeah, we're still waiting on a few more fabrics to come in and then we'll be sending out the quilt. She's like, when does the sew along start? And I was like, well, I think it starts Monday, but I'm really not in a hurry for it. I mean, I'm not going to be like doing it on day one. I mean, I can wait. But I guess, I don't know, they were able to source the fabrics that were missing and they shipped it out the very next day. And so it actually came like one day after the sew along started. And when I opened the box, they had included a $10 gift card and an apology for the wait. So I don't know. I think they're awesome. If you need like a block of the month or any kind of fabric or anything, and they have cross stitch stuff now too. So I love the Quilt Spot. They have really nice block of the months, and they do things that are a little bit different than you normally see. So that's that one. The other thing that I started working on, oh, let me put that back. The flower stand block of the month. Now this one I did through Fat Quarter Shop. And do I have a picture? I'll have Jake insert a picture of what the completed quilt should look like. It is adorable. I think it was Heather Briggs's first fabric collection that she released. And oh my gosh, that girl, this is my So Quilty life. She is doing so many things that are so different. I think I'm on month 2 still, but I've made 3 blocks. And I ordered the printed panel directly from Heather because I don't enjoy embroidery. So I didn't want to do that part. And I thought, if I have to embroider, like, I'm just going to get so stuck on how it looks that I won't ever finish it. So I went ahead and got the printed panel so I did not have to embroider. But I will say that you could get the printed panel and embroider over it. I mean, it's basically just already traced out for you if you wanted. But the pattern actually comes with the templates that you can trace the lettering on if you want to do it the old-fashioned way. But that is, I think, the next block. Oh, it's let's see if I can show this. So I'm working on that one next. I think I don't have it cut out, but I'm really liking that. I think I have one more of, oh, she's coming out in January, I think, the Quilt Room block of the month. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen that block of the month, I'll have Jake put up a picture. I've shared it before on my FlossTube channel, I think, but if you've never had a block of the month through the Quilt Spot, they are offering the Quilt Room. So jump on there and check it out because it's super cute. And I think I'm going to put it, when I finish it, I'm going to put it on this wall behind me and take that quilt down and just swap them out. It's just so cute. can't stand it. And underneath in the cover photo, there's like a little cat sleeping in a bed underneath the sewing table, but Heather said that she had an alternate block for a dog, so I will definitely be making the dog. So that is flower stand, block of the month. Came out a couple of years ago, I think. I'm just very behind. I only just started it like 2 months ago. So this next project I'm not super in love with. So I'm taking a break from it and reassessing, because I don't know, maybe once I hold it up and I look at it again, I'll decide I do want to do it. But the pattern I'm using, it's called Upbeat by It's So Emma. The blocks are really big and there are a ton of pieces. So this is a Fancy That Design House fabric line from Moda. I'm trying to remember the name. It came out a couple of years ago. I don't know. But yeah. It's basically, I think I'm doing, if you knew me as a person, you would not be surprised when I say this, but I thought I was making the queen size version, which I think it finishes at like, where's my phone? I think it finishes at like 90 by 100 or something. And anytime I see a quilt that finishes that big, I'm like, well, if I just add 10 more inches to both sides, I could have another bed quilt. So I was cutting this quilt out, thinking I was cutting out the queen size version, only to realize I had actually only planned to make the twin size version. So there was a brief moment of panic, and I had to get online and order, because by now it's going out of print and it's hard to find. So I was able to find a little bit more background fabric and the same backing fabric, but then I made the block and I was like, ugh, I don't know if I like it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna give up on it. I am gonna try to make a few more blocks. Maybe it's just the time of year. It's the colors are more muted and not quite as bright. Whereas right now outside it's very bright and colorful. So maybe fall, winter, I could get this back out and work on it some more. But a lot of piecing in one block. And I think the block is, it's like 20 inches, the blocks, so they're big. And of course, now I have to make the queen size version, which means there are like 25 blocks or something. It's just me and my big ideas. So we'll see. I really like the pattern. I think the pattern was really cool. So I have been making oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I used to have a stand for this microphone and I took it apart because I was trying to mount it on this like boom mic thing, thinking that it would be easier, but I don't know where the stand went. So I have been making project bags for cross stitch, and I have been selling them, and I have to say it has become kind of like a new outlet for me because I have a lot of fabric and not necessarily a whole lot of places to put it. And making project bags, I'm able to scratch that itch a little bit. When I want to play with a pretty fabric line, I can, and then it doesn't take up room in my house afterwards. So a couple of weeks ago, I had put up like, I think I had 15 project bags. that I had made over the course of 4 months or so. And they sold really, really fast, which I'm really grateful for because I was worried no one was going to want one. So I sold all 15 of those project bags, and I had kind of figured out by then like what works and what doesn't and how I can do things better and more efficiently. So I decided I'm ready to do like pre-orders for the next batch of project bags that I want to make. And I had decided I want to make 16 Peace and Plenty project bags. So my flower basket sampler quilt that I showed earlier, it's the same fabric. I thought it was really pretty fabric. I wanted to play with it some more. And so I opened up pre-orders for 16 of these project bags. They did all sell out. I'd really like to make more. I'm just not sure if there are that many people out there who would still want a Peace and Plenty project bag. But anyway, I did make one earlier this morning, and I am super proud of how it turned out. It's so pretty. I did the same quilting I did on my flower basket sampler quilt. I just scaled it down a little bit, and I made this keychain with coordinating beads, which is fun, and there's like a little flower charm on the back side. Really cute. And then the inside is fully lined. It's just fun. And so I've got, I was gonna get them. I've got the other 15 ready to assemble. So if you pre-ordered one, the front of your bag is in this pile. And I'm really looking forward to doing, I've been doing like 4 at a time, and it's just been fun. So I'm thinking this weekend I will be assembling those and then shipping them out to people, hopefully middle of next week. So in 2020, there was a fabric line that Lori Holt came out with called Prim, and it was like my favorite. To this day, I think it's one of my favorite fabric lines. And the sew along for it, it was another applique quilt. I did one block and put it away. And then last summer, I decided to do a second block. She's making so much noise. And I cut out a third, and then I put it away again. But last month, I think, I decided I wanted to get it back out and go ahead and get going on that and get that. I mean, it's a long-standing work in progress. So I decided I wanted to get that out and get working on it. So I completed all of the blocks aside from stitching down the applique shapes. So I'm going to share those blocks. I've been keeping them in. I got these pizza boxes off of Amazon. I think they're 18 inches. And they're really great for Lori Holt's large applique blocks. And I have my label on it. And I can reuse it too. So, I don't know how I want to do this. Okay. So block 1, this was the one that I made first. And I actually hand sewed all of this down. I hand sewed it all down, and I trimmed it to size, which it's a miracle that it hasn't completely frayed apart. But there was some quilt last year that Lori was sharing, and I don't know why, but I always had this impression that you had to hand sew her applique quilts. Like you had to hand sew the applique. And I have terrible patience. So that was kind of why a lot of my Lori Holt quilts would never get finished. And then one day Lori shared something somewhere, and I saw a close-up of her applique, and it showed that it had been machine appliqued, and that, I don't know, it was such a major moment for me because I thought if Lori can machine applique, so can I. Like, she did it, so it's okay if I do it. I always thought she just, I don't know. It's such a strange, like, I don't know why I had that impression. But I hand appliqued this 5 years ago, and now that I am not doing that anymore, I'm doing machine applique on everything now. That is hers. I think I'm going to go back over this and top stitch everything down just so it looks, you know, it goes with all the other blocks in the quilt. But this was block 1. I still need to embroider the bee antenna. I must have forgotten before I trimmed it, but oh well. The second block, no, these are just glued down. They're not stitched yet. Move my giant water bottle. And then I'll come back a little bit. Everything I do is like opposite in the camera view. So block 2. Block 3 is the angel. Oh, and her dress is behind her head. This one was fun because I got to add makeup to her cheeks. That's actual blush. I applied it with a Q-tip. So if you do that, keep in mind you can't wash it because you'll have to redo all the makeup. But I'm going to hang it on a wall somewhere. And I don't think I've ever washed one of her applique quilts. They're not really quilts that I use. I hang them. And they're just kind of for display. So that's block 3. And then we have the farmer block. He also got a little bit of blush. And he's got red suspenders, which are so cute. And then there's block 5, which is just a large floral applique. And we have the salt box house, which I really love. It's a little moon and stars. This one is my favorite block of all time. Yes, I have the matching tape measure, and yes, I am also doing the cross stitch for it. I love that sheep with the pink star and her teal dress. And her hair, it's just, she's so clever, Lori. Her hair, it's like a braid, I guess, but it's a piece of bias tape that you just tuck underneath, I think, one of the leaves, like so that her yellow hair is the same shape as those green leaves. You just tuck it under the hat and then stick a piece of bias tape under it and you've got her hair. But really love that one. I would make this block again for like a pillow or a gift for someone. It's just so cute. And then the church block with the bluebird. This one's also cute. It's the kitty cat. Now this one's gonna have an embroidered face with whiskers, but I have to wait. I'm trying to think. When do I do that? I guess after I top stitch everything down, I would need to go back because the whiskers go out onto the background fabric. Yeah, so I would wait to do that. And then I have to do like a satin stitch for its nose. But that one's super cute. All right, I got 3 more. This one is the shaker box block. And I tell you, I wish that I had cared enough at the time to make sure my fabric was straight for those lids on the boxes. I'm not going to redo it, but I do wish that I had paid more attention. These are just all coming apart. I need to get this done soon so they stop fraying so much. Get it sewn together already. This one, I did do an eye for the cardinal. And I'm sorry if you can hear Ginger. She's down there grunting at me. She thinks that I should be holding her. And I have the pears with blue flowers. Ginger. Her timing is impeccable. Last block. This one was a little bit tricky, the shape itself. I had a little bit of puckering in the fingers, but I think once I top stitch it down and quilt it, you're not going to be able to tell. Ginger, it's going to be okay. So, and the sashing for that block is all just squares and rectangles, thank goodness. So once I get all the shapes sewn down, I won't have that far to go to finish this quilt. Do you want to come up here? Come up here and say hi. Everybody loves to see Ginger. She's basically the cutest little thing. See? You're here. You're up here where you belong. I think that's pretty much it. All that I had to share. I feel like this video should have been 3 times as long, honestly, but I guess it's just because I've been working on so much that I thought maybe the video would go longer, but it didn't take that long to share everything, so yeah, I think it's time for coffee and a nap. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and took some kind of inspiration from it. That's always my goal, is just to inspire people to work on their projects. Did you mute me? No, she didn't mute me. Sorry if it was a little chaotic in the beginning. I finally got like a format down for my floss tube, and seeing as how this is my first quilt tube official, like here's what I've been working on. Quilts are bigger than cross stitch, so sharing them is a little bit more challenging. But anyway, this weekend I will be finishing up these project bags, and I think I'm gonna finish up the borders for my Sweetland quilt. She is different, you know? All right, well, I'm not sure when anyone's going to see this, but maybe it'll still be the weekend. We'll see. Either that or it'll be Monday. So until then, I hope everybody gets some quilting and or stitching in, and hopefully I will see you. Oh, and I wanted to say real quick, the t-shirt quilt series. Yes, I'm still doing it. I have all the t-shirt quilt blocks cut and prepped, so if you've seen my t-shirt quilt series, part 2 is going to happen. I'm just not sure when. I think after I finish this quilt behind me, maybe at that point I'll be ready to slow it down a little bit and go back and start working on that. It's for my in-laws for their bed, and they're not really in like a huge hurry for it, but I hate making people wait on this tutorial. Not that it's really that hard, but if I want to make the tutorial, I have to actually be working on it. And right now I don't really have the space or the motivation to do either. So if you are waiting around for part 2 of my t-shirt quilt series, it's coming. It's coming. Maybe next month. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye. I swear the hardest part about these videos is like just starting. Yeah, I knocked over So I'm not doing too good so far. Crap. You good? Hang on, I'm sorry. Look at this dog. Do you think she's comfortable?